And we are live. Saludos y bienvenidos, everybody, to the PGP podcast. Hey, everybody, Josh Tobar, proud principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland ISD, Garland, USA, Texas, the Lone Star State, ready to rock and roll with you. And it doesn't matter what part of the country, we're here to learn from each other. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. If you're watching us live or you're watching us on the replay or down in 5 years that you find out about this podcast, muchas gracias. It's very important that you like and share the show because we have awesome assistant principals that are part of this brand new book, and they'll talk to you about it a little bit. But you know what? This show is part of the Fantastic Four Network. Every Super Saturday, starting off the call with Sean Hurd. He had some technical difficulties this past week. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Plant got in the thread and sabotage his show, but it's all right. He'll pick it up later on. He's all about data. I know that right now you're preparing your crate for next year, your Title I funds. And once you get those scores, you got to call that cat in. He will help you race. His goal is to make sure that all schools are prospering at the A level. So reach out to him. If you want to have somebody at 9:30 that can change the culture of your campus, you know what? If you walk into your campus right now and you're like holding your nose like, oh my God, my culture is horrible. If you got that need right there, you got to reach out to Dr. Ashika Houston and Tammy Taylor. They turned around their campus, 3-letter grades, one of them 2-letter grades in 1 year. You know how hard that is? Mm-hmm. You know how hard that is? If you don't, reach out to them. They will help you. They will bring the materials. They are not faking the funk. And in the end, at 11 o'clock Eastern time, all Facebook times, El Jefe, Principal Cafele. What else do I need to say other than when he goes, greetings? And that's the best imitation I have of that young man right there. So remember, like and share the show right now. Go to our YouTube at Josh Tovar. We ain't getting any money in the country. We lose money on this, but it's about the joy of learning from so many people, the hundreds and hundreds of guests that we had. And so we want to push out this content, push out all of the experiences, all of the nuggets that have been for 102 shows. We need your help just by clicking on that like and share. And don't forget that if you have something, what does that mean? You have knowledge, my friend. You, my friend, you in Iowa, I see you. You in Nebraska, I see you. You in South Dakota, I see you. You have knowledge because you know what? You are educating scholars post-COVID. That's not pre-COVID. They're different. And you have knowledge and you have some nuggets, and we need those to share them across the whole spectrum that is education. So if you're in Maine or you're in Florida or you're in Alaska or you're in Hawaii or anywhere in the 48 middle, we need you. So reach out to that lady over there, reach out to me, DM us, and I can guarantee you we will find a show for you because this is not a niche show. We cover everything out there. It doesn't matter what. We had 5 state championship football coaches. We've had assistant principals. We had superintendents, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, teachers. This is not a niche show. This is everything. We've had alumni come back and talk about their experiences in school. And ultimately, it's about that experience that we learn from each other because you know what? Iron sharpens iron. And talking about iron, some pyramids were created without iron in Peru, in Cusco, in Chichen Itza, and that young lady went over there. How was your trip?
Hey, Josh. I am so glad to be back with my peeps, and thank you so much for allowing me 1 week to go on a little vacation because, I just needed a little break. But you know what? I'm back at work. I'm back in Houston, Texas. You can tell from my spiders. But Josh, it was amazing. It's winter in South America, in Peru. So I was nice and it was awesome in Lima where it was like 80 degrees, which is kind of weird. But it was freezing in Machu Picchu. It was freezing at the Rainbow Mountain. But glad to be home, Josh. Thank you so much for holding down the fort and doing such an amazing job. And thank you for my substitute for last week. But I'm good to go. I'm super excited about today's podcast.
Very true. Nikki Slaw, Nikki Slaw out of Utah. Thank you for co-hosting yesterday, and everybody that we reach out. That's why it's so great to you give this kudos, because you know what? A lot of times the cell phone is really put down for negative. You know what? In education, educators, we truly do a great job of connecting. 97% of us do a great job. Don't talk to those other 3%. You'll know real quick those 3%. 97% will reach out to you and say, yes, I got your back. That's why we're in such a profession. The profession that creates all the other professions, education. And today, normally this is where we go into our Chinchilago moment, but no, señorita. No Chinchilago moment, because we have a special guest today that will introduce our show. Without further ado, El Señor de Nevada. Hopefully he's getting the hint right now. El Señor de Nevada, the author de Nevada.
Can you hear me, Josh?
I know where he's at.
Can you hear me?
I could hear you, but I don't see your handsome face.
I don't see me either, so now I got to keep it short. I don't know. That's what happens when you keep me backstage before.
Oh my God!
I know.
I heard Nevada had a very good draft for the NFL draft, so we got to draft a better camera, sir.
Yeah, well, actually, this is a brand new computer, and the first day it's being used, so I think I just need to figure it out. But this seems to be the way it's going.
That's fine. Well, you know what? This is the man, Robert Hinchcliffe, who has brought many books to life. Yours truly is part of the one right here. We had 2 shows with it, and today we're going to do more than just...
there he is.
Here we go. All right. Mi hermano from Canada. No, not Canada, from Nevada. I don't know. This guy's all over the world right now. He's international. Hey, brother, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and tell everybody about this awesome brand new book.
Thanks as always for being here. Glad I could get my face on the camera. Just this Robert Hinchcliffe, principal from Las Vegas. I write books. It's what I love to do. Blessed to have met Josh about a year ago, and he lets me come on the podcast to promote. And I'm not really here for me today. I am more here for the people that are on the book. As Josh said, I wrote More Than Just Principles, which he is a part of, and he was a big piece of that. The whole goal of that book and all, quote unquote, more than just books is merely just to highlight great educators across the country. And that is the goal, is to make an impact. We are not meant to stay in our building, people. We are meant to be bigger and do bigger, better things. So find a way to do that. My way is through writing books, finding great people, and highlighting the job they do. And today, I am blessed because Josh took the time to talk to 4 more than just assistant principals. I actually came on here, I don't know, a couple of months ago and asked for some APs that wanted to be in the book. Got some leads from there. 2 of them that I got from that day are actually in the podcast today. And it is a blessing that the four individuals who are joining you today, Josh and Mari, are fabulous APs that all of us can learn from. So I am blessed to have worked with them, and I look forward to hearing about all of the great things they're doing today on the podcast.
And if people want to get a hold of you, Señor, to pick that brain, to buy some of your books, just to get some knowledge or see you at the next conference, national conference, how can they get a hold of you?
You can go to www.roberthinchcliffe.com. You can find me at Tyrone Thompson Elementary School in Las Vegas. All my books are on Amazon, and you can reach out to me in any way, shape, or form, and I will get back to you, I promise. And I will be at the Making Schools Conference this summer in Nashville with Shauna Q, who's actually in the podcast today. So if you're going to that, let us know. Come by and say hi.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And yes, hey, elementary people, if you want to see a school that like totally is all culture, that they're changing sets, like literally like sets of stuff overnight, that cat right there, I don't know how to do my camera. That cat right there, he's the one you should reach out and learn, because that's another example of iron sharpens iron. Thank you very much, brother, for being here on the show. And without further ado, our panelists are coming on from different parts of the United States. We've got almost everybody here. Adios, Roberto. Almost there. There we go. Panel, thank you very much for being here. Dr. Moreno, stick
Oh my goodness. Look at you guys. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. And before we get started, you guys, we got to make sure our audience knows who you are. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start off with my bestie here, Dr. Melissa Jones Chunu. We're going to start off with my friend here. Tell the audience a little bit about who you are and just tell us your story. Tell your background, your journey, your family, and what are you doing right now?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited. Thanks for the opportunity. I love being on this show. I started off, I really come from a background. My father is a pastor, and he pastored a small church as I was growing up. And so in a small church, as a child, you kind of have to do everything. So I was the usher, I was the Sunday school teacher, I took up the offering, I was the choir director, I played the drums, I played the piano. I did it all, willing workers. That's what we called it, willing workers. But it allowed me, it was in a small town called Pawnee, Oklahoma. That's where the church was located at. And it's a small Indian town. And I was able to be engrossed in that culture and had a really great time there. So I'm from Tulsa. I am the second of 4 children, and my late mother, Miss Linda Richardson Jones, she reared us in music, and so we always had to sing before my dad had to preach, and so music has just been a really big part of my life. I majored in music education at Oral Roberts University, but before that, I graduated from the Booker T. Washington High School, the best high school in the world. Okay. Shout out to the Hornets here in Tulsa. But I have been teaching, well, this is going into almost 25 years in education. I started off as a music teacher in elementary school at Alcott and Greeley Elementary School for 10 years. And then I went back to my alma mater, Booker T. Washington, and taught choir and piano lab for 7 years. And I've been an assistant principal now. This is year 8 for me. And I just love children. I love working with adults. I love people. I'm just a people lover. Even those who might not like me, I love everybody. Our job at school is to ensure that our students have the best chance at surviving in this cruel world. It's cruel. Mm-hmm. And we have to give them the best opportunity through providing them the tools to be able to read, to be able to do math, to be able to communicate effectively with others, to be able to solve problems. And we can do that. Our kids are quite able to do that. They just have to have the tools given to them. They can do anything. Our kids are, they're resilient and they're beautiful. Awesome. And I have 2 children of my own, Jason and Hannah. They're 17 and 15. And so everything that I do is really geared toward them. Like, okay, well, what would I want? If my child was in that predicament, how would I want my child to be treated? And every child is different. Every child can learn, right?
Absolutely.
And like I said, I just love seeing teachers get better at their craft. I love seeing students get better in school. When I see that child who nobody thinks is going to be great at school, come out and be an honor roll student, I'm like, woo, woo, woo. Purpose, yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to hear more about that when you talk about your chapter in your book. So 1 second. Hold on, Melissa. 1 second.
Bet.
Stephanie, let's go with you, my friend. Tell us a little bit about your story, your background, your journey, your family, and what are you doing right now?
Okay, well, I grew up in a small town in West Kentucky, and I live about 30 minutes from there now. I was also a music education major.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I taught elementary music for 22 years. And now I'm an assistant principal. I'm finishing up my 3rd year in the same school district, but at a different school. So I loved teaching music. I loved my school. I loved my program, but I also loved I like doing something different and learning new things after all these years, and just learning and meeting a whole new set of people that live in my community, but that I didn't know as well, has been really fun. So I have a 20-year-old daughter who is a sophomore in college. She's traveling all over the place, doing all kinds of stuff. And then I have a senior in high school, and he is autistic and has ADD, has ADHD. And we have really been through a lot as parents, and he's struggled a lot. And so this, I didn't realize how much that would help me in this job to be able to help other parents, and kids, just lots of things with that. We did lots of therapies, and he is actually doing amazing. He's got a full scholarship, and he's going to study mechanical engineering, and so he's doing great now. But we have been through a lot, and so all those experiences have helped give me a unique perspective, I think, to be able to help kids and teachers, even just to see, just a whole different perspective that has been very helpful. But yeah, so I'm at a school now that I love. I work with a great principal, and we do all kinds of fun things. And what I love about it is I'm a big idea person. Like, my brain just constantly goes, I have all these big ideas, and she's like that too. And so when she's like, hey, I've got this great idea, I'm like, let's do it. And then if I say, hey, I've got this crazy idea, she's like, let's do it. And so we have lots of fun, and our kids are growing and learning and love to come to school. So that's what I wanted to be, the kind of leader that would be a part of a school like that. So
love it. The fact that you gel really well with your principal is amazing, and I know it supports the school overall, right? When you can gel together. Awesome. Thank you so much, Shauna. How about you, my friend? Tell us a little bit about your story, your journey.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So many common themes already being said amongst everybody here, but I'm from Bakersfield, California. I'm the oldest of 3 children. So my brothers, they're actually quite younger than I am, 8 and 10 years younger than me. So I had some experience there helping, younger kids, come up through the ranks and learn different things. Oops, lost my microphone there. Hold on. All right, I'm back. And, helped getting them to practices and all over the place and things like that. And so when I turned 18, I moved away. All the way to Arizona to go to school, Arizona State, where I started at the College of Education over there and got my bachelor's. And then I met my husband and we moved to Las Vegas, where I got my master's in administration, and basically have just been here in the schools ever since and loved every bit of it. I was at my first school for 16 years, which is pretty uncommon here in Las Vegas. People move around a lot, which isn't how it was back home. So that was something new and odd to me. But I loved my first school. And then I got the opportunity to come over and open this school during COVID, which that was a huge and interesting experience. But we made it through, and the school's just thriving, and I love every bit of it. My passion is, helping kids become their best and meet their potential. I believe that all kids, have that potential to be successful. And I really push for people not to give up on kids because they just need that one person to believe in them. Yeah. And my passion is math and differentiating so that all those kids' needs are met and that they all can reach that potential. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And last but not least, David, talk to us. Tell us a little bit about your journey, your background, your family.
Oh, definitely will. But we got to talk about the best friend. I thought I was the best friend, Dr. Rand. We'll talk off camera afterwards. Okay. So I don't want to start nothing here on screen.
Friends.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But okay. So, my name is David Stack. I am a assistant principal in the Harrisburg area at a middle school, 850 kids in the building. This is completing my 4th year coming up as a middle school principal. So I've survived 4 years. My background, I came from a small school or a small town, Tyrone, Pennsylvania. Okay. One Burger King. That was your option for fast food. That was it. Pizza shops. That's it. 20 pharmacies, because our population was old and older. So, if you wanted medicine and things like that, you had your choices. But for fast food, it was Burger King. So I grew up on Burger King a lot. And I was the first person from my family to graduate from college, a 4-year college. So I blessed that my parents put the work in. My father put the work in to make sure I lived my dream, because my two dreams were, when I was little, I said I was going to be drafted in the NFL. Didn't hear my name called this weekend. So I'm still waiting for that dream to come true, but I was going to go to college. So I got that dream accomplished, still waiting for the NFL draft to call me. So I'm here when they're ready. They just haven't seen my potential yet.
Don't give up the hope.
Yeah, so I'd never give up hope. No, yeah. So I mean, you see what those backups holding clipboards making. I'm never going to give up hope. I can do that. I can hold a clipboard. So, and from there, I guess my passion is reading and making school fun. I think for the kids to really be successful, they have to want to be there. So I want to be that person that's, that one person they say, I show up and because Mr. Stack's there and he makes it fun for me for at least a little bit, interactions with that. So that's what I try to do in my role is, we all have to work. Not most of us, not because we want to, it's because we have to. So let's have fun while we're doing it. And the kids can see that. And I think they really prosper under a environment where you're trying to make it fun for them. So
absolutely. Who wants to go to a boring school, right? You have to make it fun. You have to make it fun for kids to come to school, and they won't want to go skipping, right? Because everything is fun at your school. So guys, I'm super excited to be amongst all of you today because you guys seem amazing, and I can't wait to hear about your chapter. Josh, this is amazing.
Exactly. And you know who's amazing? Don McKeever Jeter. She's amazing. She already did the call out for everybody, part of the Fantastic Four family, our coach, our cheerleader, Constance Sherrard from Mississippi. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you sending out the love. Like and share right now. Go to the little arrow, like it and share it. Hey, David, let's start off with you. Since you didn't get a call from the NFL, I'm going to call on you right now, brother. Real quick question right now. Here we go. Who or what motivated you to enter education? Who or what? And how did you meet Tony? Robert.
So who or what? I really don't know. I think I went to college. That was my first step, that was my dream, go to college. Didn't really have a plan. Took psychology, but knew that coming out of college, psychology wasn't going to pay the bills right away unless I got, further advanced in my, degrees. And so I looked at elementary. I always like being around kids, working with kids. So that's what I guess I'm self-motivated. And back then, it was like, oh, the summers are off. You got all your holidays off, the things that they tell you are great things about teaching. But then you realize once you get into it, oh, my summers aren't really that off. And, that kind of stuff. I met Tony here on the podcast. He was on the podcast one time, last time he was on here, and he just reached out to me and said, hey, would you want to be part of this book? And I said, yes, of course.
Perfect. Thank you for saying that. And you know what? One time when I met him, when I met Robert, I had met him originally at NASSP. And at that time, I was learning about Tony Hinchcliffe. And since that moment, every time I see both, I intertwine their names and he starts laughing at me. I'm like, oh my God. It's called old age. You know what I'm talking about, Robert? Yeah. There's old ageism. I will blame that on old age right there.
There you go. And I think, sorry, Robert, I think I called you Tony because
I said it. Because I'm a big knucklehead. I'm a caveman, and that's okay. I'll take the hit.
So I blame Josh, Robert.
Yeah, please. I blame Josh, Robert. Everyone does, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. Stephanie, who or what motivated you, young lady? Who or what? And how did you become acquainted with Tony? Robert.
Well, when I went to college, I really wanted to be a performance. I wanted to perform clarinet. I played in orchestras and I played in lots of different gigs and stuff. And then when I thought that degree, my dad was like, you can't do anything with a performance degree. You can perform without an education degree. So I decided to do music education, and then I was going to do my master's in performance, but it really wasn't until I started student teaching. So it's that last semester. And I was with a great teacher, and I loved it. I loved going every day. I had so much fun. I loved the kids. And then I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And so I changed kind of my whole line up there, and ended up doing my master's in counseling. And then I got another master's in to be a principal. I decided I wanted to do that. But I haven't met Robert, but I'm excited because we're going to Las Vegas this summer. And so I reached out to him and told him we're going to be there. I think their school's going to be out, but I'm still going to get to go meet him. And so he connected with my principal, who's amazing, was featured in the other book, in the principal book. And so that's how we connected for this book.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's a good cat. And take pictures of, what is it? Tyler Thompson, right? Tyler Thompson Elementary. Take pictures of that. Post them all over. Oh, let's talk about the right-hand person of Tyler Thompson. Shauna, tell us who or what got you into education. And, well, obviously we know why you know Robert.
Yeah, as long as I don't call him Tony, I think we'll be okay. Like I said, I had two younger brothers, and just growing up, I had so many great teachers who were inspirational and that I looked up to and that I just loved and watched and wanted to be like them and wanted to do what they were doing. So I think that's really what geared me towards education. And then as far as like working with Robert, I told you I was at the other school for 16 years, and then I knew that this opportunity was available to come over here. And so I kind of had a couple choices to come here or to go to another school. And I ended up coming here because a few people had told me that we were pretty similar in our beliefs and the ways that we like to do things with schools. And so I made the leap to come over here, and it's been a great decision, and I'm happy that I did.
What a great experience. Yeah. And yes, as Robert says, we all have, my man. We all have. So I've made my second name Am Not. Am Not. You cannot call me that. All right. And let's close off this question number 2 with Melissa Jones Chunu. Dr. Chunu.
Okay, I also will not call you Tony, but yeah. What was your question? Sorry.
Who or what got you? You mentioned some of that already.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, mama and daddy, because daddy was the pastor, mama was the minister of music of Oklahoma Northwest Jurisdiction Church of God in Christ. And so they were always about teaching people, whether it was music or whether it was about the Bible or just about treating people right. They all are my greatest inspirations. And then, of course, I had some great mentors, great teachers here in Tulsa, Oklahoma Tulsa Public Schools. Go ahead, woo woo. And just great mentors that I've had, teachers, administrators, co-workers, peers, loved it. And let me see, how did I meet Robert? I met him Dot McKeever Jeter. She recommended me for the book. And so it's been an amazing opportunity for me to be a part of this great book. I've been reading it, and I'm not completely finished, but I'm just honored to be a part of this great project.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you. And yes, a big high five to you, Robert, for putting this cast together, and all the other authors that are found in the book and in More Than Just Principles. Moreno, stick.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get started to talk a little bit about more what we do. So again, Robert is amazing, right? So Robert Hinchcliffe is known for spotlighting passionate leaders. So let's start off with Stephanie. So let me ask you, what is your current why? And can you share a real example of how that why shows up in your everyday work?
Yes. Well, I love kids, and I feel like Miss Jones over here and I would be good friends because I just love people, and I love loving on people. So I feel like when you're in this role, you have so many opportunities that don't exist for anybody else. I mean, just every little thing matters. Every interaction matters. You don't know how you're impacting a child and what they're taking home with them. Years later, I live where I've taught for 22 years. I go to church here. I go to the grocery here. So people will come up to me and say things that I said 20 years ago in a class that I don't remember at all. And it made a big impact on them. And you don't sometimes, I didn't realize that at the time. Now that I'm older, I realize every single interaction impacts a child. And children need these positive interactions. They need people to be positive with them. They need people to know their name and know something about them. And all these little things that when you're asking them about the ball game or your gymnastics meet, and I've all these little connections matter so much to them, and they listen to you when you know about them and you care about them. And so I love the big picture of the school. I love the big picture. I love helping the teachers. I love being able to do things that they need and little surprises, and you pick up on little things that they're stressed out about, and you can do all these tiny little things, or the big things too, but just to give them a little boost and a little power of positivity. I think that is my why behind it. I mean, I want to help make a difference. I love going to work every day where it's a job that actually matters. My husband goes to a job and it's a great job. He works in a nuclear facility, and but it doesn't really matter. I mean, he's in charge of like 12 men, and it's great. It is a great job. But it's just so important. And I love that I get to be in the role that makes a difference. So
you're in the people business, Stephanie, and that matters to you, right? And so
really
that's, and every day is a different day. So unlike your description of the nuclear facility of whatever, I think that's kind of important, but your importance is different when you're talking about people, because you're changing people's lives. So I get it. I totally understand. Thank you so much for sharing. Shauna, how about you, my friend? Talk to us a little bit about your current why, or what is your current why? An example also of how that resonates in your everyday work.
Pretty similar, but my current why, I just want school to be a place where everybody wants to be, because like you said, it needs to be fun. It needs to be positive. Like Stephanie said, the state of education right now, if we want to focus on the negatives, can be exhausting at times. They talk about teacher burnout, and everybody's just kind of, I don't know, they're heading towards the negative side. That's what we see all the time on social media, way more than we see the positives. And so my why really is just making school a place where staff want to be, kids want to be, a place where parents want to send their kids and they feel comfortable coming, just so we can all work together for, the ultimate goal of having a great experience for kids so that they can be successful. And so everything that I do is, to get us there, to just make it a place where everybody wants to be. The interactions, the work that we do have to do, the hours, the time, the, conversations, just everything. So that's my why.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shauna. And you know what? It's important. Kids need to be, feel successful and be happy. Awesome. Thank you. Melissa, how about you? Tell me a little bit about your why and an example of how we can see that in your everyday work.
Okay. So my why is, of course, to show the love, just to show love. And God is inside of me, and what's inside of me is going to come out. And so I think the world, who was it that sang that song? What the world needs now is love, sweet love, right? It's the only thing that's really going to save us. And we have a lot going on in our school systems. Our kids carry a lot. And I not only saw that when I was in school, but even more so as a teacher and as an administrator. Our kids go through so much. Our families go through a lot. And being a teacher in both elementary and high school, I saw the different dynamics. And yet, even in high school, I often say that kids in high school students in high school are just kids in bigger bodies, because they go through so much, and but even our elementary schools, like when I first became an AP, and we had a student in our who was in 6th grade. That's when 6th grade was in elementary school at the time, and she basically had a drug ring going on in the school. So she had kids putting money at the top of their lockers, and then she was going around replacing it with Reggie Weed. I said, what? Now that's elementary school, okay, not high school. But that was like right before she graduated. And, you know, we had to suspend her because you can't sell drugs in school or what have you. But when we brought her parents into the conference for her, we were like, well, where'd you get the drugs from? And of course, the mom just busted out and said, that ain't my weed. That ain't my weed. We were like, but ma'am, that is your weed. That definitely is your weed. And so the girl, we didn't let her participate in the fun activities that the fifth graders have, but we did let her walk across the stage because we felt like that was an important part for her to actually experience going across the stage, because we know the school to prison pipeline is real. And we wanted to let them know that just because you make a mistake doesn't mean that it's the end of your life. You can go on. So she went on and went to middle school, and then she came back the next year looking specifically for me and thanked me. She was a straight A student on the honor roll, you know, doing she was on the speech and debate team, she was on cheerleading, doing great things, and she graduated from high school not too long ago.
Wow.
And so, you know, my why is just to encourage people and to show them love, and let them know that they can make it no matter what the obstacle is in their path.
What a beautiful story, Melissa. Thank you so much for sharing. And you know what? You're right. Kids need a second chance. If not, you know, who knows what could have happened. So thank you so much for sharing that beautiful story. David, tell me what you got. What's your why? And
My why is definitely the kids. If I don't know, you know, these are little cards just from assistant principal week. Hundreds of them. I grabbed a pile. I keep them on my desk, so when I'm getting the doom and gloom or having to do the bad part of my job, like discipline and that kind of stuff, pull one out, makes me smile, reminds me what my why is. I mean, where else can you get me at the ripe old age of 25, Josh, be able to, you know, have fun at my job? You know, 25, sir, 25. So it's the kids, it's those moments, you know. It's me singing happy birthday to kids in a cafeteria where now kids, you know, request it. Hey, my friend's birthday's today. Can you come serenade them? You know, that kind of stuff, you know, even though I think I have a voice of an angel, some kids, you know, disagree with me, but, you know, they could be wrong. It's okay. They're young. They don't know better, but I try to teach them the way, you know. So that kind of stuff, like Spirit Week, dressing up, that kind, you know, just having fun, showing that, you know, it's not all, sometimes it has to be serious and sometimes it can be fun. So, and the kids kind of learn my personality that, oh, Mr. Stack ain't playing right now, and it's not time to joke and it's time to be serious, to, oh, we can have a back and forth, you know, little banter back and forth. I have a group of Nepalese ladies, 7th graders. They all sat together. First month, they were as quiet as can be in that cafeteria. Now they come in and they're giving me flack about, you know, how I'm dressed or what this or that, you know what I mean? So they break them out of a shell. I was a quiet kid. I was a shy kid. It took me a while. Like, people, when they see me today, like, wow, you're a principal, you work with kids, you get up and speak all the time. They're like, that wasn't you. No, I'd be in the corner reading a book, you know.
Yeah.
Very quiet, not very outgoing. So I like to bring the kids out of their shell, you know, and let them, you know, experience and have some fun and feel safe about it. So that's my why.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that story. And you know what? You're right. Kind of making it awesome for the teachers and for the students to feel good about their school. Guys, if you have not liked and shared it, please do so right now. Like, stop what you're doing, like and share it, because what you're doing right now is sending the algorithm out to others so that more people can see and hear all of the beautiful stories that you guys are sharing. So please like and share. And don't forget to go to the YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel and like it there and subscribe to that channel as well so that we can help share the knowledge. Right, Josh? That's the whole goal.
Exactly. Knowledge. So, speaking about that, I need you to spread some knowledge. Shauna, you're an AP. Look, I don't know what your duties are, but your duties are as assigned. Doesn't matter what, as assigned. Testing, books, buses, cafeteria, soccer, underwater basket weaving, hopscotch. You got all the duties. You got mama bears, papa bears. You got them all, lady. I got you.
Mhm.
I feel you. I feel you. So in the middle of doing all that stuff, and I know everyone loves this testing season. We all love it so much. We're all across the country. We love it so much. How, young lady, did you find time to write this book, author this chapter? Because you got to do that. Then you got to
Yeah.
be mom. You got to be family member, and then go do your job. So where did you find the time? Because educator, we all say the same thing. Universal. We don't have enough time.
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 Yep. It's funny because you list all those things and it's like, yeah, I do all those things, but it doesn't feel like it because it really, it doesn't feel like a job. It's, I love doing what I do. As far as finding time to write a book, it is during soccer and being a mom. So I spend a lot of hours sitting at soccer practice. I do more hours driving around kids everywhere, but when I do get to sit there while they're practicing, that's when I find my time to write. So
Gotcha.
lots
So
of hours
that's
there.
where you carved it out. Being
Yes.
mommy, right?
Yep.
Got it. Dr. Chudu.
Oh, when did I find time? What is time? Okay. I just, when I had time, I picked it up and worked on the book. There was no specific set time. Although looking back at the process, I probably could have said, okay, at this time, this is when I'm going to write. But then life would have came up. I already know my life. And so I just I went back several times and edited what I wrote. But yeah, just whenever time presented itself. And I think it was laid out like the way that things were laid out for us to complete the task. It was like a date kind of sort of given. So that helped a lot.
Awesome. Deadlines are good. Deadlines are good. And speaking of that, big shout out to Jefe, Principal Cafele. Thank you for being here today. You should tell the queen of the castle to wake you up, sir. You can't fall asleep on that. You can't be watching all these NBA games, sir. You got to get the queen of the castle to wake you up. Shout out to Dr. Sonia Matthews for being here. And my man, Jeff Linden. Great podcast. Reach out to that cat right there. Thank you for being here today. David, how did you do it? Doing your duties and writing your PhD, bro. How are you doing it?
I think to build on what Dr. Jones said is the way it was laid out for us is kind of easy. Hey, so Robert did a great job of, laying it out for us and to make it easier. And it was just, when I found time in front of TV, watching my basketball games, not snoozing, but, they're doing some writing. So.
Got it. Yeah, I agree, Jefe. If she wants to go to Bermuda, right, she better let you sleep, right? Got you. Great job, the queen of the castle. I got it right there. And Stephanie, how did you do it, young lady? How did you, my friend, find time to write that chapter in that great book?
Well, I got lucky. We had a snow day. And we had a couple actually so that really did help me. He did make it easy. He made it where it was very easy to kind of chunk it into compartments and work on it for a bit and put it up and work on it a bit and put it up. And it was just one chapter. It wasn't like I had to write the whole book. So that helped too.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you very much, panel, for sharing that. And if you got that little thing in the back of your mind, just find the time in soccer practice or just find the time with a deadline. You can do it. Send those thoughts out there because the world wants to know what's in that frontal lobe.
Absolutely. Awesome. Guys, this is the part of the podcast where we hear a little bit about your chapter. So we're going to go ahead and have Melissa start off first. So Melissa, you've authored a book. We're going to look at your chapter. Sorry, I'm looking at Josh's question. So let's look at a little glimpse of your chapter, my friend. what are some of the key ideas or messages you want readers to walk away with? So don't tell the whole story. Just a little glimpse, just a little taste of what did you write about? Like people want to know before they go and buy this book, like what is your story? What do you want people to learn about your chapter?
So I'm actually mentioned, and we all are. We're mentioned in different parts of the book. I'm assistant principal number 4, and everyone here is assigned a different number for assistant principals. So, what I want people to know is it takes a community in order to really do this job effectively. It's not just me. And what I've done, I know in one part of the book I talked about how I faithfully watch Principal Kafele and the fence. I watched it every Saturday. I mean, if I don't watch it, I watch the replay. That's just been a part of just what I do, and then also just being a part of a community. As I said before, you cannot do this job alone. You shouldn't have to. And I know the principalship, I know I often hear people say that the principalship is lonely. I often hear that, but there are so many people who have been in your shoes and who have been doing the work, and you don't have to be completely lonely. You don't have to do that. Yes, every site is different, but you definitely can pull, your lifelines, call your lifelines. If I have a problem, I have a list of people I could call on any moment, any questions. And, we just don't, that's part of our emotional well-being as administrators. And I think we often overlook that part. Many people go through burnout in administration, and it's because you're trying to bear this burden alone, and it was never meant for you to bear alone. It takes a team, to do this work. So I think teamwork is something I would want everybody to really take from my section.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. So community. So that's what your chapter is about. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. David, how about you? Just give us a glimpse, just a small glimpse of your chapter. And what do you want people to take away?
That until you walk a mile in the shoes, you're not really fully prepared. Like college and in the classes you take to become a principal are good on theory, but they don't teach you the small, fine, intricate parts of being an assistant principal and how you have to support. Like just last week, I got the great opportunity that I never learned about in college to how to fish a vape out of a toilet, because it was there, it was reported. And that bathroom needed to be open because we have 850 kids in our building. So when a bathroom goes down, it causes chaos.
That's a problem.
So I just did my duty, fished it out, got it to where it needed to be, told my principal, who said, "Why did you not just flush that?" And I looked at him and said, "Do you think I'm going to be paying for a new sewer system in this building if it got stuck or stuff like that?" I said, "You're crazy." But, those little, fine things that, they don't teach you in college that you were going to have to do. So, theory is good, but until you actually get into the nitty gritty of the job, you're never really going to fully understand all you have to do. And just that, and also that, I heard a lot of no's before I heard a yes to become, to take the step to be a leader. So, and I think all those closed doors were at the time were bad, kind of brought me down, but when that door opened, it was the right door for me. So, you're going to hear some no's maybe, and that's okay, because that just means you're meant somewhere else.
Absolutely.
So never give up.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Stephanie, how about a glimpse, just a little glimpse about your chapter, ma'am?
I think that my glimpse would be this job is hard. Like we want to be positive, but it is a hard job. And I think you have to really look for the positives and look for the wins, especially on hard days. So I think just trying to celebrate it becomes easy to get focused when, especially in the AP role. I feel like most APs deal with behavior, deal with discipline, and that can wear you down. And really it's like 1% of the population, or it's only a few kids, when there's all these other kids doing great things and doing the right thing and doing what you expect and doing amazing things. And so my principal and I, the first year when it was really hard, we both came in together, and we every day at the end of the day we would sit down and write our wins down. And so something big might have happened that you feel like can overshadow that, and then when you sit and list it, there's 12 or 15 great things that happen. So I think looking for the positive, celebrating all the wins, big or small, is really important in this role.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And you're right, kind of listing those out, because it can just boggle you down and you just kind of feel like, but super excited that you feel that way, and looking forward to reading more about your chapter. And last but not least, Shauna, talk to us a little bit about your chapter, my friend, and what do you want people to know or to take away?
Well, first of all, everything that everybody just said, there's so much great advice in this book for anybody looking to become an AP, or those people that are already in the role but looking for ways to get better at their craft. I think a couple of takeaways from my chapter is relationships are so important. You can accomplish so much more if you build those relationships up front, even with parents, the staff, students, everybody involved. Relationships are super important. And then the other thing would be to, as an AP, I would hope that you are there, you're committed. You're not just there for the paycheck. I try to steer people away from, just going through the motions. And so just staying away from status quo and always looking for new ideas on how to be better and how to make everything, just progress and get better for everybody involved, because you want it to be exciting and you want them to come back, for the next new thing or the next exciting thing. But if we're just going through the motions, that's not going to happen. So relationships and stay away from status quo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. This book is going to be amazing for many, many people who want to become an assistant principal and learn about this role and how to make it better, just like Shauna talked about.
Exactly. And it's that time. We're towards the end of the show right now. Hey, Principal Cathella, yeah. Robert Hinchcliffe has a series of books. And the one that Melissa wrote, that one right there, she's showing it right now, Shauna, who's Robert's AP. Come on, guys, show your books. What's wrong with you guys? You got to promote it. It's time to promote it right there. And so, Jefe, he also did one for principals, and I'm part of this one. So he has a series of books like this where he asks different administrators, different people in education to write a chapter, and he sets us up with themes, for lack of a better term, and we do our knowledge. We write about it and put it out there. How many authors on your book, Melissa? I know we had 15. Quick quiz, pop quiz, panel. How dare you not know this?
11.
11.
All right. There you go. Love it. Now you know that for the future. Your brain your amygdala went into fight or flight.
Bam. We do it.
11. Now you'll remember it. 11. And so Jefe, yeah, he has all these books right here, and everybody writes a little thing in there. Okay, time to promote books. Shauna, you have anything out there to promote for the audience?
I do. This is my newest one. It's called The XYZs of Teaching, What I Wish I Knew at the Start. So there's a little play on XYZs in the start there. And basically it's an ABC book, so it's easy to read, and it goes through a bunch of different things that teachers can use and access, from feedback and relationships, math strategies, and even happy hour made its way in there. So
Wow.
gotta check it out.
That's a lethal one, young there. That Applebee's Brutus is a lethal one, ma'am. All right, thank you for sharing that. Stephanie, you got anything to promote? That's good. Don't worry. No, don't worry. Put it on your to-do list right there. Future Dr. David Stack, you got anything out there?
I'm still, if you got a spot at a conference, you need to fill for someone to speak. I'm looking to get into that realm to, come to a conference, speak, share some knowledge, especially on building relationships with guardians, parents, and community and students. So, if anybody out there wants a speaker, needs a speaker, hit me up.
You got it. Chunu!
So I don't have any books yet, but I do have a dissertation. The title is Exploring Stakeholders' Perceptions of Interventions Used to Promote the Emotional Well-Being of Students at Greenwood Leadership Academy. That is located on ProQuest. Also, Google Scholar, so you can look it up there if you want to read that. Some really good information in there. Is this where you can reach me yet? No, yes.
No, not yet. I got you at the end. After the lightning round. After the lightning round. And the other book for today is the other book, Barbara Bray, 23 Stories by 23 Educators, with myself writing the last chapter right there. So let's get into the next question. This is a two-part question, panel, and we'll start off with you, Chunu. We'll start off with you. So tell the audience about an event or a story that inspired you to solidify your passion in education. What were you involved with, a student, with a colleague? What were you involved that you said, you know what? That's exactly why. You know how they say you get the pop? The pop, you know, when you teach something new to kids and they go, oh, the pop. There's always an event that you have a pop. What solidified your love for education?
So many events.
Only one, you knew. Only one.
I know it. I know you always do this to me. But man, let me think. I think when I was giving feedback to a teacher and the teacher wrote me a letter. She was not a teacher at the time. She was actually a TA. And I would come in and encourage her to step in her role as a teacher. And she became a teacher and recently became the teacher of the year at her school. And so she grew into a well-rounded teacher. And just from that encouraging words, she wrote me a letter. It's in my office at the school, and I read it when I come into my office and I see it. And just that really solidified me being in the role that I'm in, to give instructional coaching to teachers and let them know that they really do have the power to change the lives of our students.
Thank you for sharing that. I love it. Oh, and I didn't give a shout out to Mr. Florida himself, Otis Kitchen, who not only was with Jefe yesterday, he was on the panel with Jefe yesterday, but he went to go present. He sprinted as that great athlete he is in basketball to go present at 2 p.m. I know that you did great, Otis Kitchens, the second, who's a big man, big name in Florida. David, what solidified it?
I think early in my career, when I started a new job at a school teaching third grade, back to school night, parents are there, doing my routine of, this is what I'm going to do. This is what we're going to learn about this year. At the end, parent came up to me and said, hey, Mr. Stack, I really want my child to do good this year. I know that third grade is an important year. I can't read. And she was a single mom, so anytime she's having trouble or you're sending homework home, it's going to be a struggle for me if she doesn't get it. So that, of course I'm like, anytime I send something home or that, just put a note saying, didn't understand this. I'll work with her, during recess or whenever. I'll pull the time to help that student, get to where she needs to be. And just for that parent to be that vulnerable and share that with me took a lot of courage on her part, because she didn't know me. I mean, I didn't live in the community. I was new to that, community, month into school, and she came up to me afterwards to share that with me. Took a lot of courage on her part. So I really knew that she wanted the best for her child. So that made me want the best, not only for her child, but for every child into my classroom. And that kind of solidified, this is the reason I'm doing what I'm doing.
Bam. Bam, bro. Love it. Yeah, the first time I went to a home visit, and the parent didn't know how to write, and they did the X.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to write. And then you're wondering, how do you expect the kid to do homework when the parent can't read or write? Bam, bro. You just did a flashback on me. Thank you for sharing that beautiful thought right there. And let's remember that, America. Let's remember that, America. They're sending us their best. And sometimes at home, they don't have that support. We got to remember that, educators. Don't forget that. Shauna, what you got?
Like Melissa said, there's so many stories, but one that sticks out to me, I had an opportunity to be a math strategist. And during that time, I worked with an intervention group of students who needed help with math. And one little girl, she was a third grader, And she came to me, and she was actually receiving interventions for reading as well, but wasn't showing progress. So then they sent her over to me to see if I could do something with her with math. And she sat in my class, and she didn't even want to attempt anything. And I was not going to give up on her. So I gave her a problem that I knew she would be able to do. And she sat there for 3 days and wouldn't do it, but I didn't give up. There was tears, and she was just like, I'm not a math person. My mom said she's not a math person. And I'm like, well, you're going to be a math person. And so step by step, we were able to get that problem done. And she ended up have the highest growth that year in my group of 25 students, and came back a few years later and said she was getting A's in math and it was her favorite subject. And so that story just gets me every time.
I love it. That's why I like and share, guys. I'm so tired of my algorithm on TikTok. All these educators crying on how they want to get out of the profession. Dios mío santo, por favor, Dios, send the holy water rains to those people, because there's so much glory, and you don't give up on kids.
Yeah.
That ends that pipeline. Shauna. Woo! I just gave you a Ric Flair. Stephanie.
Well, like they said, I think you have a lot of moments throughout when you've been in the business this long, where you feel like, I remember in my music classroom a lot of times watching little kids sing or dance. You just feel like that's such a sweet spot, because they're just free and they're creative and they're opening up. But the first year when I switched, that was quite a switch. And there was this one child who had a lot of struggles, and we were kind of warned. There'd been a lot of issues and a lot of trauma, and had ran away, just a lot of things going on. And so immediately we started trying to brainstorm what we could do to help this child. And there were a lot of different things, and not by any means is it just me, but one of the things that I worked out was for a high school student to come and tutor this child. And he was really behind. He was in 5th grade and he couldn't read, and he was really frustrated. He had been through a lot. And so this high schooler would come over every other day, and every few days I would walk in there and say, you know what, y'all just go play basketball today. Like, you've worked so hard and there's 15 minutes left. And just to give him some positive. And this child, the high school child who worked with him, was amazing too. And he actually switched careers and wanted to be a teacher after working with him. He's in college now, and so at the end of the year, when he took his last star, he came running down the hall and he said, my teacher said to come tell you. And he said, he got off 5th grade level. Like, he was finally at grade level. And he had started out below, like on a 1.6 or 1.8. I don't exactly remember, and he was so excited. And now when I see him, he just gives me a big hug, and he's doing really well. And so I think sometimes those students that are really difficult, they also bring you the most joy, and show you that what you're doing matters, show that to you, as well. So I think that was the moment where I was like, this being able to understand the whole big picture and see everything going on gives you a lot more the ability to emphasize and to help them more. So I think that was where my moment of maybe, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Love it. All those right there, all those stories. Me fascinó. Awesome. Stick, Moreno.
Last question, you guys. This is the last question before the Échale Ganas round, but I want to leave our educators listening to this podcast with this. As we step into the month of May, what is one thing you want every educator listening to commit to? And I'm going to give you the sentence stem. So we're going to start off with Shauna. The sentence stem is, hey, educator, in the month of May, I want you to blank.
Okay. Hey, educator, in the month of May, I want you to see these last few days as an opportunity instead of a countdown to summer.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Melissa Jones-Chunu. Hey, educator, in the month of May, I want you to
rest. I need
Rest.
you to rest. Get it together. Rest. We have a whole month left, so you need to rest. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. David, how about you? Hey, educator, in the month of May, I want you to.
I want you to finish strong and celebrate even the smallest success that you have each day.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's very important. And last but not least, Stephanie, hey, educator, in the month of May, I want you to.
Love the kids and leave
Love
them
the-
with so much love that it'll last for the whole summer.
Awesome. Josh, what amazing group.
Love it, love it. Get that book. Panel, show that book again before we get into the lightning round. All right, right there, guys. And I put the link already right there. All right, it's time for the lightning round, aka the Échale Ganas question. This is called the PGP podcast, G for Ganas. That is the only thing that unites all Hispanics across the globe. Not our food. We're not a monolith with food. Trust me. I know that Mari did not eat anything that's normal in Texas, in Peru. I can tell you that for sure. There were no enchiladas there. There were no chilaquiles there. I know she didn't do that. We say our words are different. The speed of our language is different. But one thing, there is one concept that unites all Hispanics: Bolivia, Ecuador, Argentina, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Cuba. One word: ganas. There is no equate in English, because this is a spiritual word. This goes down from generation to generation. It's not only motivation, but it is love. That's why you have a grandma that says, "Échale ganas, mija." And you hear that grandma right here yelling at that. Or a dad yelling at his son, "Échale ganas, mijo. Tú puedes. You can do it." And that's why I tell you right now, échale ganas, Melissa Jones Chunu. Now remember, lightning round. Lightning round. Don't let these fat cheeks get close to the camera. You do not want that right there. So here we go. Lightning round. Give advice to a new assistant principal.
Me?
Who know?
Lean on your peers.
Read a note, an email, a text from a parent, a colleague, or student that inspired you with their words.
Melissa, you totally rock. Thank you for being a part of this project and helping future leaders and current APs improve through your words. Your impact is only going to grow with the profession, and the profession will be better off because of the time and effort you donate to our colleagues. I wish you all the best, and please reach out if I can ever assist in any way. Sincerely, Robert.
Eso! Send some flowers to an active colleague who inspires you in their work. Name and title.
Samantha Dunn, principal of McKinley.
What is your favorite book? Why?
The Bible, because it gives me the guide to my life.
KFC, El Pollo Loco, or Popeyes?
Popeyes, they have a new fish sandwich out. It's pretty good.
What is your favorite comedy movie?
Coming to America.
When you were young, what was the best family vacation you took with your mom and your dad?
We went to Pensacola, Florida. It was nice.
What do you do when it's time for you to recalibrate, to focus on yourself?
Go to sleep.
How can people get a hold of Dr. Melissa Jones Chunu from Tulsa, Oklahoma?
So I am a Facebook junkie. So you can find me on Facebook at Melissa Jones Chunu. I am on Instagram at Jones Chunu. That's CHUNU. I am on LinkedIn as Melissa Jones Chunu, and then on X as Lissy Chunu.
Love it. All over the socials. That's the way to put out your vision to education. David Stack, here we go. Give advice to a new assistant principal.
Everybody can do your job better, so don't sweat it.
Read
So
a
let
note,
you know.
an email, a text from a parent, a colleague, or student that inspired you with their words.
I just picked one from the pal. Here's my picture they drew of me, and I'm reading this for the first time. So if I stop, that means they probably said something bad about me. I'm writing to thank you for being a fun assistant principal. One moment that really stood out to me was when you dress up in costumes for Spirit Week. Something I admire about you is that you're outgoing and funny. I'm grateful to have you as part of our school community, and it's signed love. and that sticks out to me because a middle schooler saying love is,
Mhm.
you know,
Send some flowers to an
That-
active
yeah.
colleague who inspires you in their work. Name and title.
David Migdale, my first mentor when I first started out teaching, just retired last year from principalship, but he's now running for school board in Frederick County, Maryland. So still doing the leadership thing in education, just as retired now.
What's
in
your
a
favorite
different
book?
form. Lincoln on Leadership, because he talks about not surrounding himself with yes men, and he always wrote a letter and used to put it in his pocket before he would send it and wait a little bit. So in this day of emails and instant things, it's always good to remind yourself to wait.
KFC, El Pollo Loco, or Popeyes?
I had to go Popeyes out of that list.
What's your favorite comedy movie?
Step Brothers.
When you were young, what was the best family vacation you took with your mom and dad?
Every year we went camping at Canobles Grove
What do you
amusement
do?
park.
What do you do when it's time to recalibrate, to focus on
Oh,
yourself?
pedicure.
Love it.
Yeah.
How-
Contains
How can
toes,
people
yeah.
get a hold of you, senor?
I'm on LinkedIn at David Stack. I'm also on Twitter at Stack ED Services. So those are the two main ways to reach me.
Perfect. Sean Hurd is in the house. I see you right now, Sean Hurd. I saw that on Saturday. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Plant hit your Wi-Fi. I hope you got rid of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Plant, sir. Let's make sure we're nice and strong on this coming Saturday. Shauna, here we go. Give advice
All
to
right.
you. Give advice to your new assistant principal.
Build relationships and get to know people as much as possible.
Read a note, an email, a text from a parent, a colleague, or student that
Hey.
inspired you with their words.
Hi, Mrs. Quinneville. I was in your third grade class when you worked at Tanaka. I'm 26 years old now, and I'm a teacher because of you. I always tell everyone you were my favorite and most influential teacher in my learning. Thank you 1,000 times over.
Eso! Send some flowers to an active colleague who inspires you in your work. Name and title.
Robert Hinchliff, principal, speaker, author, all the things, sometimes a comedian.
What is your favorite book?
I honestly don't have a favorite book, so this one right now,
All right. KFC, El Pollo Loco, or Popeyes.
El Pollo Loco.
What is your favorite comedy movie?
It's a rom-com, Fools Rush In.
When you were young, what was the best family vacation you took with your mom and dad?
Every summer, we would drive from California to San Antonio to see my grandparents and spend 2 weeks there. So that's my favorite.
What do you do when it's time to recalibrate or to focus on yourself?
I get out in nature solo.
How can people get a hold of you? Pick your brain, get those books.
I am Shauna Q777 on all of the platforms. So
Love it. And Stephanie, Kentucky, Western Kentucky, in the house. Give advice to a new assistant principal.
Learn everything you can and love the kids every day and have fun every day.
Read a note, an email, a text from a parent, a colleague, a student that inspires you with their words.
Okay. This is from a teacher. She said, I just want you to know I love working with you. You make me smile, giggle, and belly laugh a lot, and I love it. I love how God uses you to make kids feel special and loved. You are one of a kind. There are not many like you who give, and never expect anything in return. I'm so thankful I get to work with you.
Send some flowers to an active colleague who inspires you with your work.
Carrie Cornwell, the principal at my school.
What is your favorite book?
The Bible.
KFC, Pollo Loco, or Popeyes?
We don't have any of those restaurants. I would say Chick-fil-A, but we don't have that either. So I guess I'll say Popeyes. I don't know.
All right. What is your favorite comedy movie?
Shrek.
When you were young, what was the best family vacation you took with mom and dad?
Dauphin Island.
Where's that?
It's in Mobile, Alabama. There used to be it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for teaching me. What do you do when it's time to recalibrate, to focus on yourself?
Try to take a walk.
How can the audience get a hold of you and pick your brain?
I have Facebook, and we also have a really good school Facebook page. We post a lot of stuff. It's the Graves County Central Elementary School, and then Stephanie Wheeler is on Facebook. But my name is spelled weird, so it's like Stephen IE. So
Got it. Thank you, panel. I appreciate all of you for being here. And some of those stories, hijo Dios mío, qué bonito. How beautiful it was to hear. And you got to go one more time, panel. Show that book one more time. Show that book right there. Jefe, you got to get that book, Jefe. You got to get that book right there, sir. And remember, everybody, like and share the show. Put it out there. Follow on YouTube. Get those algorithms going, because you know what? These are assistant principals that are literally right now in the trenches. It's not Sir Giovanni. It's not Marzano. These guys are dealing with cheerleading moms. They're dealing with vapes. And you know what? I have yet to read a Marzano chapter that has to do with vapes and cheerleading mom. It's not out there. So it's very important that we learn from each other, that we take this litany of knowledge and incorporate it to what we have with our learning community. And it's all for free. We're broke, guys. We can't send 10 people to conferences anymore. We can't send 2 people to conferences anymore. No one at central office is going to prove it. This is for free. It's there for you. Please excuse me. And we need to make sure that we reach out and get stronger together. Thank you for being here today. And don't forget, next week's show is I'm retired. What's next? Oh my Lord, it's May. People are chucking it in already. So hear from people that are right now educators that have retired, and they're going to show you what they're doing and what obstacles they have overcome over the last couple of months. Panel, say goodbye.
Bye.
Don't hang up.
Bye. Thank you.
Don't hang up.